Maya Angelou once said, if you are always trying to be normal, you'll never know how amazing you can be. And it's true. Being different isn't always a bad thing.
No, but as we all know, sometimes those differences exclude those that simply want to belong. And that includes geese. And here to tell us how that all fits together are authors Stephen and Karen Rusiniak. Thank you both. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, so before we get to the book, I understand the behind-the-scenes backstory is just as compelling as what's in the pages of your book.
Correct.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well,
Go ahead.
we have a place over in West Ocean City, Maryland, and there's a pond behind our house. And one day we saw a couple flocks of geese, and we were just watching them. And we noticed that one was all alone and tried to go by the other flocks of geese and was pushed away and just couldn't fit in, I guess, with the other ones. And we started thinking that this was really kind of sad, that all this goose wanted to do was belong. And we started talking about how it ties in, like with, I guess, present day issues, discrimination, trying to fit in. And I just started taking notes. And that night, we started writing something about it, a children's story.
Yeah.
And after we did that, I tucked it away. But what happened was we met somebody in Cambridge, I guess early last summer. And we got talking with this person, and it turns out that they had such a fascinating life. And I said, wow, you should write these things down. It's a story, you should publish it. And she held up a book and said, I am published. It had nothing to do with the lifestyle and all. But we started talking writing. And that night, I sent her a text. And I thanked her for her hospitality. And rather than saying anything about that or you're welcome, she sent me her publisher's information. Mm-hmm. And we even waited a couple more days passed before I looked to see what her publisher was all about. And when I saw children's stories, all of a sudden it clicked. It's like, you know, we have something in the files. And we pulled it out, we tweaked it, we sent it in, and 2 weeks later we got a contract.
Wow.
So.
How about that? So you got the book.
Yes, yes I do.
Okay, so can you give us kind of a preview about what's going on with Gary the Goose? Gary the Goose Belonged.
Well, it's more observations of his what he was doing in our backyard on a pond.
Right.
You know, when he got out of the water and he was limping, and we just sort of created a story around what we thought was happening in his life.
You know, I think that's important. We forgot to mention, when we saw this goose originally, it had one leg was mangled, and it was hobbling around, and that's really what drew our attention to the goose.
So Karen, you're a former special education teacher.
Correct, yes.
How did that experience fit into the writing?
Well, it was interesting watching Gary and limping around the backyard. It did bring, as we were developing our story and talking about it, I started remembering, you know, all my students years ago and how they would have trouble fitting in and making friends and just wanting to belong to certain groups. And just started relating all of those stories to Gary.
Right.
And we sort of were, you know, thinking that Gary was in the same situation and developed it from there. Yeah.
So you believe that inclusivity is an important thing for kids to learn.
Oh, yes.
Why?
It's important. Everyone wants to belong, and everybody wants to fit in. So it's important that they feel as though they're wanted and belonging, and that we all accept them for who they are, no matter what they look like, or how they act, or how they feel, or you know what's happening in their life.
It's a universal right.
Right. Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to.
So if folks want to get Gary the Goose Belonged, where can they find them?
Right now it's on Amazon.
Barnes & Noble.
BarnesandNoble.com.
There's a few other ones too. And it's available around the world. We found that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
We were
that's
trending
wonderful.
for about a month in Australia.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that has to be exciting.
Yeah.
What was exciting was when we saw that it was also published in different European countries. I didn't know what I was looking at. It
Right.
turns out it was Dutch. I had no idea.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Danish.
There it was.
I can't wait to get a copy of
Yeah,
one
I
of
know.
those to see
Yeah.
our book in a foreign language.
I know we're out of time. Can I ask real quick? Illustrated by Donna Rusiniak.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought
Yes.
that up. One of the deals when we had the contract is that they use in-house illustrators, and for us that was a deal breaker because we really wanted to use. Donna's my sister-in-law. She's a phenomenal artist.
So you said Donna or nobody?
Yeah.
Correct.
And they said, well, you know, it's okay, send samples. So we sat down with her and we went over the story and we said, this is what we would like. And she came up with, well, what's there?
What's in the book?
Which was like 100 times better. It was she added a whole new layer to our story. And she made it hers as well. And
Yeah.
she's phenomenal.
The name of the book is Gary, the Goose Belonged, Stephen and Karen Rusiniak, and we have a link on our website, delmarvalife.com. You can also see some of Stephen's other writings. Very interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you.